Good evening, all. We'll start shortly. All right, so welcome all in our weekly webinar Market Masterclass with Religare. Some of you know, those who are joining us for the first time, I'll share the format first and then we'll start the session. So basically, we cover the market journey during the week, followed by our view, why and how one should position the key indices, Nifty and the banking index, key sectors to watch out for, and some of these stocks which can be on your radar for long and short trades. We end the session with a quick feedback poll and any questions related to the presentation or otherwise also any particular sector that you wish to know more or we missed any theme, definitely we can discuss during the Q&A session. So let's start this session. और जैसा कि कुछ लोग जानते हैं जो कि पहले ज्वाइन किए हैं, जो नए हैं, एक पहला पेज मार्केट की परफॉर्मेंस का कि किस हफ्ता कैसा रहा, फॉलोड बाय कि क्या हमारा व्यू है नेक्स्ट वीक के लिए, कैसे पोजीशनड हैं हम और कौन से सेक्टर्स पे कौन से स्टॉक्स पे नजर रखनी चाहिए, ये सब चीजें हम बात करने वाले हैं अगले आधे घंटे में. तो इनिशियल 20 मिनट में हम बात करेंगे मार्केट में क्या करना है. नेक्स्ट 10 मिनट्स में जो भी क्वेश्चंस होंगे अगर आपके कोई भी, तो उसको हम आंसर करेंगे ड्यूरिंग द Q&A राउंड. कोई भी सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक, थीम स्पेसिफिक कोई भी क्वेश्चन होगा आपका, we'll definitely take. We'll start with a disclaimer first that it's an educational webinar. It's not a trading or investment recommendation. So before making any decision based on the information shared, please check with your financial advisor. तो देखिए ये पर्पस क्या है कि हम नेक्स्ट वीक के लिए तैयारी करें, बट यहाँ पे कोई भी ट्रेडिंग और इन्वेस्टमेंट रिकमेंडेशन नहीं है. तो जो भी आप डिसाइड करें बेसिस दिस इंफॉर्मेशन, उसको आप प्लीज अपने फाइनेंशियल जो प्लानर है उनके साथ बात करके तभी एग्जीक्यूट करें. All right, so finally, green color on screen and hopefully in your portfolio too. 4.5% kind of gains nearly for Nifty and Sensex. Almost like, this was the 6th month, March month. And markets were down and out in this recent, corrective tone. Means after a long time, we've seen such decisive correction, especially in broader indices. In the benchmark also means close to around 16% is something that we have retraced. So 4.5% is definitely a big relief for the bulls. Means we not only defended the key areas, those who regularly join us, they know that 21,800, 22,000 was a zone that we used to discuss at one point of time, that it should Nifty should defend that zone to see any meaningful move. Otherwise, 21,000 could be the probable targets. So we not only defended, but gradually we are building on that. Means last week was a week of consolidation, and if you remember, we have discussed about this range 21,250 to 21,650, 22,650. This 400 points. And either side break is going to trigger a strong move, and that is what we saw on the higher side. 21,300, 21,100 is what we were eyeing as the initial target. In fact, market surpassed our expectation. It inched toward 23,400. Sectoral front, as you can see, all sectors in positive: realty, media, energy, pharma, financials, and in fact, banking, of course, which is missing in the percentage term, but that was the major contributor to this entire rally. Followed by like the underperformance. Yes, though they are not losers, but FMCG and IT, they were on the subdued front. Talking about top 5 gainers from the Nifty 50 basket: SBI Life, Shriram Finance, SDFC Life, Dr. Reddy's, Apollo Hospital. So again, NBFC financials, they were in the limelight among the top 5 gainers also from the Nifty 50 basket. And like what we've shared about IT and FMCG trading subdued, so they were among the top losers. Now, देखिए ये तो है स्ट्रक्चर मार्केट का कि किस तरीके से पोजीशनिंग रही, काफी लंबा टाइम रहा इस बार करीब छठा महीना था हमारा ये मार्केट के करेक्शन का, और फाइनली इस हफ्ते रिकवरी देखने को मिली करीब 4% से ज्यादा की। और इम्पोर्टेंट क्या रहा कि ब्रॉड बेस्ड रिकवरी देखने को मिली, मीन्स सारे ही सेक्टर्स आप देख रहे हैं पॉजिटिव साइड पे। एफएमसीजी आईटी वो थोड़ा सबड्यूड जरूर रहे, बट बाकी सब ने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, खासतौर से बैंकिंग जिसकी इंपॉर्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा है क्योंकि उसका वेट बहुत ज्यादा है, बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल्स मिला दे तो। बट ब्रॉडर मार्केट्स ने पॉजिटिवली सरप्राइज किया, मींस मिड कैप स्मॉल कैप वहां पे भी स्ट्रॉन्ग रिकवरी देखने को मिली। तो ओवरऑल करीब 1.5 महीने के जो लॉसेस थे मार्केट ने वो एलिमिनेट कर दिए इस मूव के साथ। अब क्या एंटिसिपेटेड है नेक्स्ट वीक के लिए? सो ये है आपका स्ट्रक्चर। This is how we are placed when it comes to the Nifty index. So as you can see on the screen itself, means last week we were here, in this tight range, 22,250 to 22,650. And we were discussing about either side break to trigger 400, 500 point kind of a move. Means we were eyeing 23,100 and Nifty in fact surpassed that level. Now we have reached to its very critical hurdle. Why I am saying this is very critical? Because as you can see, this red line and green line, these are the two key moving averages, both placed around this area, which is 23,400. Once we break this mark, then the previous swing high close to around 23,800 to 24,100 is something that the market is going to attempt. Right? In case if there'll be any dip, 23,000 to 21,750, which was earlier as acting as a resistance, would act as a support now. तो ये निफ्टी का आपका डेली का ग्राफ है। लास्ट वीक तक हम यहाँ थे, पूरे 5 दिन तेजी का माहौल, और लॉन्ग टर्म एवरेजेस जो की एवरेजेस हैं उनके पास आप पहुंच गए हो, 23,400 का जोन। अब ये अगर ब्रेक हो गया तो ये फिर रैली और एक्सटेंड करेगी, 23,800, 24,100 तक के जोन आने वाले टाइम में आपको दिख जाएंगे। डाउन साइड पे जो पहले रेजिस्टेंस था अब वो सपोर्ट बन जाएगा। तो पहला 23,000 के पास, फिर उसके बाद 22,750 ये आपका सपोर्ट जोन रहेगा। नेक्स्ट वीक क्या ध्यान रखना है? नेक्स्ट वीक 23,400 ये ध्यान रखना है। 23,400 के नीचे हैं तो शायद रेंज में रहेंगे, थोड़ा सा टाइम स्पेंड करेंगे। 23,400 के ऊपर फिर दोबारा से तेजी का चालू कि 400 पॉइंट और करीब 23,800 और फिर 24,100। क्लियर है? सो ये हो गया आपका इंडेक्स का निफ्टी। अब आते हैं जो हमारा द रियल हीरो ऑफ द search, banking index. So this is something that we were talking about earlier. That was the daily chart. This one is the weekly chart. I have kept it intentionally weekly for banking to show that at one point of time we were talking about this support 47,500. This moving average support. So it not only defended that, but this week it was a vertical rise from the banking index. Means 5% gains for banking is very strong. Just to put things into perspective, can you see any of these candles as strong as this one? Means this is also a green candle, but not, as big as this. This zone was something which is of significance because post this green candle, there was a gap. So this is definitely a very strong candle or move from the banking index, which have pushed the index interestingly above its long-term averages already on the daily chart. Means 49,900. If you remember last week during the webinar, we've discussed about that area. So Bank Nifty very easily attained that level, but Nifty we are about to cross that 23,400 mark. So why I am showing you this weekly? Because as you can see that earlier we were in this channel, right? So this area is the lower band of this channel and we are hitting that mark, right? So this 50,700, 800, which also coincides with this swing high, that's the immediate resistance. Once we break that mark, then probably 2,000 points more, means close to around this red line. 52,800 is something that banking can extend. First hurdle could be close to around here, 51,700, and then 52,800. So banking is the real hero. Others are supporting actors. It's not that without supporting actors, we get a decisive move. Their performance is equally important, but banking is something, financials and banking put together, they are the real heroes. Downside, 49,900, which was earlier acting as a resistance, would be the first support. And then it's not 46,400. It was 47,800, if I'm not wrong, or 49,000 zone, right? So बैंकिंग देखिए, इस हफ्ते अगर मैं कहूँ कि किसी ने अगर मार्केट को हिम्मत दी तो वो बैंकिंग ने दी या फाइनेंशियल्स ने दी कि हाँ हम रिकवरी दिखा सकते हैं। शुरुआत से ही बैंकिंग, क्योंकि सबसे ज्यादा वेटेज अगर आप देखेंगे बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल्स का है मार्केट में, इंडेक्स में, तो वो उसने थोड़ी स्ट्रेंथ दी बावजूद इसके कि ग्लोबल क्लूज मिक्स थे। एक इवेंट था, यूएस फेड मीट थी, बट बावजूद इसके कि ये बैंकिंग का पॉजिटिव टोन कंटिन्यू रहा और बैंकिंग इंडेक्स ने अपने लॉन्ग टर्म एवरेजेस को डेली चार्ट पे रिक्लेम भी कर लिया। ये वीकली ग्राफ है। यहाँ वीकली ग्राफ पे जैसे कि आप देख पा रहे हैं कि ये जोन इंपॉर्टेंट है बिकॉज यहाँ से लाइन पहले ये सपोर्ट की तरह एक्ट कर रहा था, अब ये शायद रेजिस्टेंस की तरह एक्ट करे। तो करीब 50,700 800 के पास ये हर्डल है। ये ब्रेक हुआ तो फिर 51,700 फिर 52,800 तक के लेवल्स। वहीं नीचे पे जस्ट इन केस अगर करेक्शन आता है तो 49,900 48,900 के जोन ये मेजर सपोर्ट रहेंगे। बट बेसिकली बैंकिंग में अभी कुछ ऐसा चैलेंज दिख नहीं रहा है, कंसिडरिंग कि आईसीआईसीआई, कोटक, इन्हीं दोनों में एक सिग्निफिकेंट मूव देखने को मिली है। अगर आप बात करें एचडीएफसी की, एक्सेस की, वहां पे अभी भी शुरुआत ही हुई है एक तरह से। एचडीएफसी खासतौर से अगर मैं बात करूं तो कोटक में भी कुछ खास नहीं हुआ है, कुछ 3-4 साल बाद वो मूव आया है, तो वहां पे भी आप शुरुआत की तरह ही मानेंगे। तो बैंकिंग में यहाँ पे और पोटेंशियल है और यही एक रीजन है कि 23,400 के ऊपर जब हमने निफ्टी की जाने की बात की, अगेन उसमें बैंकिंग का की रोल रहेगा। बाकी सब का पार्टिसिपेशन इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट जैसे कि रिलायंस भी अभी थोड़ा सा ट्रैक्शन देखने को मिल रहा है काफी लंबे टाइम बाद, तो वो सब चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट है। बट बैंकिंग ऐसा है कि जो कि डिक्टेट कर रहा है इन अ वे पूरे ओवरऑल ट्रेंड। तो यहाँ पे पॉजिटिविटी एक्सटेंड होते हुए दिख सकती है करीब करीब 2,000 पॉइंट, जो 52,800 तक के जोन, ये अपसाइड के मेजर हर्डल रहेंगे, राइट। 49,900 के नीचे गए थोड़ा सा कॉशियस हो जाइएगा, उस केस में फिर थोड़ा सा रेंज में चला जाएगा। All right, so this is about the indices. Now let's talk about stocks. So we have been consistently, discussing about largely the heavyweights or larger mid-cap names during our conversations. So we are continuing with that trend. This time around, Bharti Airtel, as you can see on the screen itself, a noticeable period of consolidation. And finally, look at these volume bars and this price action. Finally, we are set to break this consolidation. It's not only that we are ending the consolidation. It didn't participate much during the market corrective phase. That is the biggest achievement for any stock. Those who regularly join us, they understand that we always talk about buying strength and selling weakness. And Bharti Airtel is the best example of strength. Obviously, it can go sideways when the markets, were under pressure, and it didn't participate to similar quantum the way we have seen in the indices this week. But it is okay. At least it saved you in the bad times. And once we breach the 1740 का mark, it's a new high, right? So काफी लंबा टाइम भारतीय एयरटेल ने स्पेंड कर दिया है कंसोलिडेशन में, और जिस तरीके से हम देख रहे हैं कि बेस बन चुका है, अब नेक्स्ट तेजी की शुरुआत के इंडिकेशन तो यहाँ पे लॉन्ग पोजीशंस के लिए देख सकते हैं हम. ओके, और अब आते हैं नेक्स्ट पे. So this is something different. Means we all know that auto counters, they are also participating. Means the auto index was up roughly around 6% this week so far. And iShares, M&M, TVS, they are the top performers. But the underperformers like Tata Motors, Bajaj Auto, Hero MotoCo, they are also seeing some sign of recovery in line with the benchmark and the sector as well. So here, after this surge, means 4% in the index, 6% means 4% in the benchmark, 6% in the auto index, one should also be considering sectors and stocks which are second rankers. See, market works in cycle, so is the participation also. Means across sector, you won't find all these stocks moving in tandem at one given point of time. There are always leaders within the sector. Like, to give you an example, ICICI Bank from the banking now, and then we have followers wherein we see catch-up moves like Kotak, HDFC, Axis, and then we have laggards like IndusInd Bank, Bandhan Bank, RBL, right? Similarly, after this outperformance or surge from iShares, M&M, TVS, we expect this 50% kind of a retracement in Hero MotoCo to be over now. Means roughly around 6,000 to 3,400. This is the long-term averages on the weekly chart. So probably it is likely to form a base followed by a recovery. It might not outperform the leaders, but this gives us comfort in a way that we are very close to the support area. So let's say if market sees any profit taking, it fails to cross 23,400, then obviously there'll be profit taking across the sector. Here the downside is capped. That's the reason why I've included Hero MotoCo instead of iShares Motor in this list. Means while it is good to chase momentum, but you need to be balanced in your approach so that you don't get carried away by buying into anything without having any reasoning in place. तो देखिए, ऑटो पैक में जो अभी परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं सबसे ज्यादा, जहां अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस है या फिर कंपैरेटिवली एमएनएम में, आयशर में और टीवीएस में। उसके बाद अब रिकवरी आ रही है आपकी टाटा मोटर्स, बजाज ऑटो, हीरो मोटोको, मारुति, इन सभी नामों में। तो एक तो है कि आप लीडर्स के साथ, जैसे मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि लीडर्स के साथ रहिए, इजी रहता है, मार्केट को बीट ना करें, कम से कम मार्केट के साथ चलते रहते हैं। बट की रेजिस्टेंस के पास पॉसिबिलिटी रहती है कि मार्केट थोड़ा प्रॉफिट टेकिंग आए, तो वही एक पॉसिबिलिटी को देखते हुए जहां पे कि डाउन साइड कैप्ड है, बिकॉज 50% ऑलरेडी रिट्रेस कर चुका है, थोड़ा बहुत रेंज बाउंड जा सकता है यहाँ पे, मतलब थोड़ा सा टाइम स्पेंड कर लेगा ये, अगर यहाँ से बढ़ा नहीं तो गिरेगा भी नहीं। तो ये कंफर्टिंग फैक्टर है, तो जो इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए देख रहे हैं खासतौर से उनके लिए एक अच्छा बाय पॉइंट हो सकता है हीरो मोटो। तो उसको जरूर ध्यान रखिएगा। ये मैं एक दो दिन के हिसाब से बात नहीं करता हूँ, मैं इसको वीकली, मंथली, उसके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, जो भी आप पास के वेबिनार देखेंगे तो आपको उस तरीके की चीजें नजर आएंगी। बजाज फाइनेंस की हम बात कर रहे थे जब यू नो करीब यहाँ से 15-20% नीचे था, अब रिकॉर्ड हाइस पे हैं। तो वो टाइम लगता है उस चीजों को अनफोल्ड होने। लास्ट ऑन द लिस्ट अमंग दी स्टॉक्स, metal. If banking is the currently the backbone of the market, metal is the one of the most critical sector wherein we are seeing momentum. Means it's offering you more of trading opportunities, during this recovery. And adding to that list, we have SAIL. So Jindal Steel, JSW Steel, undoubtedly they are the leaders in this sector. Then second rankers, Tata Steel and all, BEDL. Lastly, we are seeing stock like SAIL. This is the weekly graph, and can you see this cluster means a very tight range consolidation in this band, 100 to 115. And finally, this break during this week. So it is self-explanatory, means bears are completely exhausted. Now it's time for bulls to witness some recovery. Of course, for the same reason, it might not outperform JSW Steel, Jindal Steel, BEDL, Tata Steel. But here the comfort is that the downside is capped. राइट, तो सेल में सेम वही हीरो मोटोको वाला कि परफॉर्मर्स दूसरे हैं, बट ये अब यहाँ पे कैचअप मूव आ सकता है। यहाँ पे मेरे पास कंफर्ट है कि मेरा सपोर्ट नजदीक है, तो मेरे पास स्टॉप लॉसेस नजदीक रहेंगे। शायद 10% जेएसडब्ल्यू स्टील बढ़े और ये करीब 5%, 6% बढ़े। बट जब हम ट्रेडिंग की बात करते हैं तो हम रिस्क रिवॉर्ड की बात करते हैं, ना कि केवल रिटर्न को चेज करना। वो एक इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है, बट रिस्क को मैनेज करते हुए रिटर्न को चेज करना, दैट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट। So this is the last stock from the list, wherein one can look for long trades. So to sum it up, 23,400 in Nifty, 23,400 निफ्टी के अंदर दिखा भी देते हैं। ये जिन्होंने लेट ज्वाइन किया, 23,400 दिस जोन इन निफ्टी, 50,800 बैंकिंग इंडेक्स। ये दो लेवल आपको ध्यान रखने हैं। इनके ऊपर तेजी और कंटिन्यू रहेगी, इनके नीचे कंसोलिडेशन। ठीक है, 23,400, 50,800। स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक, भारतीय एयरटेल, हीरो मोटोको और सेल, जहां पे की पोजिशनिंग पॉजिटिव साइड पे लगेगी। राइट, सो this is all from the presentation part. So let's do a quick feedback poll and then we'll start with the Q&A. So please share your feedbacks and then we'll start with the Q&A. Those who are done with the feedback, they can start posting their question using that Q&A button. जिनका फीडबैक हो गया है वो अपने सवाल पूछ सकते हैं। वो Q&A बटन आपकी स्क्रीन पर है, उसको आप प्रेस करिए, आपके पास एक स्क्रीन खुल जाएगी, सवाल जो भी है लिख कर आप पूछ सकते हैं। Okay, so let's start now. Q&A. Okay, first question from Mr. AR on IT and cement sector. So IT, like what we've shared during the presentation also, it was among the underperformer this week. Probably it can remain subdued in the near future. Good part is that it's not declining with fall in the tech heavy index Nasdaq composite. So this is positive. But yes, the way we are seeing other sectors performing, I doubt that we can see a similar tone in IT in the near future. So if your view is short term, I would recommend to refrain from long trades. If you are looking for investment, you can definitely consider. Cement as a sector, bullish view, but again, we are seeing rotational themes playing out. So this week it was defense. If you have noticed, defense stocks were again in the limelight. But I would definitely say this, that if you are chasing any particular theme without knowing the reasons and no stop losses in place, it's the perfect recipe for inviting trouble. Means you don't know in which direction uh, you know you are heading. You are just following the crowd. So make sure that whatever theme or sector that you are following, your stop losses are in place even during this market recovery. So cement, as of now, we are not seeing any decisive action, but yes, base is set in some of these players. Ultratech, Dalmia is seeing recovery. So Dalmia is not very significant recovery candidate. As Grasim looks strong to us. So, but yes, as a sector, honestly, both these are not very appealing as of now, considering the traction which we are seeing in the other space. Okay, next we have AMC. So AMC as a sector, see, as a basket, if you see the performance of banking and financial, they are doing well, and we may see the rub off in the next leg of the up move in AMC pack also. So HDFC, AMC, NAM India, it should be on your radar. But as of now, we are not seeing any sign of traction. Means otherwise, I would have noticed like any fresh traction. So probably it's forming base. So selectively you can pick. जितेंद्र कुमार जी, वेबिनार हमारा हर वीक रेगुलरली होता है. सो आई गेस आपने मिस किए होंगे कम्युनिकेशंस को. और हिंडाल्को मींस अगेन स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक क्वेरीज वी अवॉइड. वी टॉक अबाउट द जनरल थीम. मेटल, जैसे मैंने बताया कि अगर बैंकिंग इंडेक्स 0 है तो जो एक ऑलमोस्ट हीरो के बराबर वाला रोल मेटल ने प्ले किया है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर मोमेंटम मिला है. चाहे वो टाटा स्टील में हो, JSW स्टील, जिंदल स्टील, मतलब अपने रिकॉर्ड हाई के पास आ गए हैं. हिंडाल्को में भी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस है, बट आई वुड रादर से कि थोड़ा सा एग्रेसिव टोन हिंडाल्को में अब नहीं होनी चाहिए, कंसिडरिंग जिस तरीके का मोमेंटम ऑलरेडी आ चुका है, और हाल फिलहाल में कुछ दिनों तक इसमें नेगेटिव टोन भी देखने को मिला था। तो हाँ, मतलब उस तरीके का ट्रैक्शन नहीं है हिंडाल्को में अभी, और पॉसिबली शायद ये आपको रेंज में ही दिखे। तो पोजीशन है, एक बार को बुक करने के बारे में सोचा जा सकता है। और दूसरे जो मेटल काउंटर्स जहाँ पे कि कंसिस्टेंसी दिख रही है, स्ट्रेंथ दिख रही है, ट्रैक्शन, वॉल्यूम, मोमेंटम सब कुछ है, उन पे फोकस करें। ऐसा नहीं है कि ये नेगेटिव है, बट हाँ, यहाँ पे वो मोमेंटम सेम उस तरीके का शायद ना मिले आप। So Shreyansh, it's not a drastic change. We've changed our view, in fact, almost a month ago, when it comes to the IT or short-term trading. Uh, if you joined earlier, we used to talk about IT and banking being the key sector which could drive the market higher, but IT failed. It joined the league of underperformer, and then only banking was left. So now, be it any sector, tomorrow if banking also starts underperforming, we would recommend to avoid. See, trading is all about following the market trend. So there's no point arguing with the markets, which says that this underperformance might continue in the near future. So short term, avoid. Investment, definitely you can consider. Okay, stock specific queries. Next is defense. Yes. So Srinivasu has questions on defense as a sector. So after this outperformance during this week, probably we can see some breather in the next week, and some any other sector emerging as a theme. This is probably happens in a good market scenario wherein we see rotational themes and sectors playing out uh, week after week. It's not that they are going to outrightly be down or correct. There'll be a pause or some consolidation, but tone definitely looks positive. But here also again, a catch: stick with quality names, wherein not just fad means one single day they see an uptick of 5-10%, and the other day they retrace by 5-6%. Avoid such stocks in any of the sectors, including defense, wherein we are seeing. So, just to give you example, BEL is a consistent performer within the defense space, right? Majgaon Dock didn't participate during this corrective tone. BDL, same. HAL, definitely it's a very good performer, but at the same time, it's very volatile also. So if you know how to handle volatility, then only you should touch those stocks, otherwise avoid. Okay, Karthikeyan has question on specifically on fluorochemical companies. So yes, we are seeing certain names. Of course, the main key player, Naveen Fluorine, is doing well. Not in terms of price performance, but yes, it was holding strong throughout this negative journey. So probably we can see this recovery extended in the coming future. So you can definitely stay put in chemicals and agri chemical space, including Naveen Fluorine. Okay, so see, Jitinder, we only talk about our overall outlook. So like what we've shared about metal, कहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए नहीं हम बात करते हैं, हम यहाँ पे एक आपको ओवरव्यू देते हैं कि ये आपके प्रिफर्ड सेक्टर्स हैं, और इन सेक्टर्स में से ये बड़े नाम हैं। फाइनली चूज आपको करना है। जैसे मैंने बताया कि सेल में यहाँ पे बेस बन रहा है, सपोर्ट है। इस सेक्टर के आउट परफॉर्मर्स JSW स्टील, जिंदल स्टील है। चूज आपको करना है कि आपको किसके साथ जाना है। ओके, Umar Shankar has a question on specific stock, but we'll answer it in a different way. Platform counters. So after this recent correction, of course, it was broad based, including the platform stocks like BSE, MCX. It was down and out. Now we are seeing recovery. Again, they are very volatile. So if you know how to handle volatility, if you are very uh, strict about your stop losses, then only you should venture. Otherwise, you can avoid or look for clear structures, means where you have less downside and they are less volatile also. They are not high beta counters. So this is my suggestion. Okay, Neelam ji has this question on Vodafone Idea. So basically, we usually avoid stock specific queries, but to answer this one, because most of the people are interested in knowing about this stock. See, in the telecom basket, we all know that the kind of underperformance this stock has been facing since ages. We have had phases wherein the stock recovered very strongly for a brief, but eventually this recovery fades out. Imagine at the other end, uh, Bharti Airtel, which was the stock in the list also, is inching gradually and slowly but higher, right? Just do this exercise over the weekend that if you have invested, let's say 100 rupees in Bharti in last 4-5 years and the same amount in Vodafone Idea, what would be your performance or your portfolio returns? I'm not saying that right away you should take any decision, but sticking to underperformer beyond a point doesn't make any sense. Adding to those names time and again, if you have like 2%, 5% of your portfolio in such names in anticipation that there could be a big turnaround, that is okay. If you are just chasing these stocks like Yes Bank, Vodafone Idea, Suzlon, in anticipation of returns, I personally don't think it's a good strategy. तो 5%, 7% अगर आपके पोर्टफोलियो के कुछ अगर ये नाम है तब तक ये ठीक है. जब भी आपके पोर्टफोलियो का ये बड़ा हिस्सा अगर बन जाते हैं ना ये नाम, तो फिर चैलेंज है. ये मेरा कहना है. तो जो भी टर्न अराउंड स्टोरीज हैं उनको उतना ही रखिए जितना कि आपको हर्ट ना करे, राइट? So yeah, with this, we have answered all the queries. So thank you everyone for participating. Next week is going to be the week of expiry, monthly expiry. So we'll have a weekly webinar, monthly webinar for this rollover webinar. So please do attend. For this video or this interaction, we post a video in Hindi on our social channels, Religare online के. तो उन पे जाके आप जरूर देख सकते हैं. But next week अपना rollover वाला webinar होगा. So thank you everyone for participating. We'll connect again. Till then, take care. Goodbye.